Alright, so if you get Valkyrie and Bast, then it makes sense to put them in a deck which supports 3 cost cards, and the most obvious way to do that, for me, was to build a Cerebro 3 deck. It's a 3-bro, if you will. So if you haven't got a lot of these cards, don't worry about it. You can put pretty much any 3 power card into these spaces. You could put in like a Baron Mordo, for example, something like that. If you want to go up to 4 cost, there's things like Spider-Man or Shang-Chi would work in there. There's a lot of 3 power cards to choose from. I've gone with these ones, Hawkeye and Zero, because they are 1 cost. There's not many 1 cost 3 options unless you're looking at Blade, but we don't want to start discarding things. Zero's effect you don't have to worry about too much, because largely you can cancel one of the card's powers and not have to worry about it really, especially with things like Colossus on most stages. You don't have to worry about his power. Viper, often it's beneficial to not have Viper's power in play. Even Juggernaut, Scarlet Witch, they're all kind of situational, so it doesn't matter if you zero out some of those abilities. Sentinel's really handy to have in there, 2 cost, so if you get out on turn 2 you can play him twice. You can play him again turn 3, you can play him again turn 4. You want to keep Bast in hand ideally until we can get Cerebro and Mystique in hand, because if you can make Cerebro and Mystique worth 3 power, which is what Bast does, makes your whole hand 3 power. If you can get Cerebral and Mystique worth 3 power, then when you're playing them both on turn 6, ideally, then they could be worth like 14 just for those 2 cards, because they're buffing themselves and each other. So if you can get Bast to hit those 2, that's ideal. Viper is there in case Monster Island comes up specifically, but she can be used in other circumstances. But Monster Island obviously is no good at all for a Cerebro deck, because it becomes the highest power card on the board. So if we can just get rid of that to the other side, we don't even have to worry about the fact that we're giving them that 9 power, because there's a chance we can hit that lane with Valkyrie. But even if you don't hit it with Valkyrie, it's fine, because you can maybe generate enough power in that lane to win, or just ignore that lane entirely. But the main thing is to just get the monster off your side of the board, because it's going to ruin your game. Scarlet Witch is there for similar reasons, just for those awkward locations that come up, like giving you that whole lane +2. That's not ideal. Things like playing a random card from your hand on turn 5, anything that you think might mess up the synergy of the deck, you can play Scarlet Witch to just change that location. Colossus is in there so you can drop things in places where it might get destroyed, like the Wrigley Bridge or Altar of Death, anything like that, just to get a bit of power in those lanes. It's not a lot, but sometimes it's enough to win. Cosmo and Juggernaut are your main counterplay cards. The good 3 cost Juggernaut can disrupt things quite a lot. Cosmo, obviously we all know what Cosmo does, gets in everyone's nerves, so he's good to be in there. So yeah, and like I say, Valkyrie's there for sort of when you've got those -2 ninjas, or they've sent a goblin or a hobgoblin over to your side. Anything which is going to disrupt that flow, or if they're just really steaming ahead in one lane, you know you can just drop a Valkyrie and level the whole thing out. Works against things like Destroyer as well, as long as the other side reveals first. It's a really useful card in this deck, which is why it was kind of the inspiration for building this deck really. I've had Bast for a while, but we picked up Valkyrie and thought this would be a good opportunity to try Cerebro 3. So that's a rundown of the deck really quickly. So yeah, let's see how this goes, shall we? Okay, Lamentus 1. Well, we know whether we're going to win or lose this one pretty early. We're not going to get huge power. Realistically, we're talking like 14 in 2 lanes to be at the top end, because I can't hit Mystique with the Bast. Just kind of relying on them having worse draw than we've had. Kind of unlikely. Looks like they're going to destroy. It would make sense to play that in Danger Room, but I can't afford to not hit Hawkeye on turn 2. And obviously I don't want to use Viper, because that will buff the Hawkeye and send it over their way, and it'll get carnaged. Yeah, that side's getting carnaged. I mean, this looks bad, I would say. On reveal effects not happening. We can try and just knock the carnage away, which it's making this lane a bit strong for my liking, but it's probably our best option, I think. And they didn't play it. so that was a bit of a waste. I'm thinking they maybe don't have any destroy cards. Let's drop the Viper. I'd be very surprised if this comes out as a win. Yes, that's probably going to go quite high straight away. 12, we can beat 12. It's this side I'm worried about. We're going to get like 7 on there. It's pretty poor. Let's just see where this goes before we commit then. Alright. That's obviously... Oh, that would be sneaky if that had been hit by the danger room. That would have been quite nice. But yeah, I'm assuming they've got nothing to destroy with. I'm hoping that on reveal being silenced is gonna play to my advantage, and maybe they won't try and take right. Hopefully they focus these two. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So they played nothing. Could have checked. They've got no cards in hand. That would have made sense. Okay, so Lamentus makes every game weird. So I guess they were relying on that Hulkbuster getting destroyed and having a 12 power Deadpool in hand, which probably would have went in the right hand lane. So bit of luck. Right, we've got Bast, but as we know, we're not going to play that in turn 1 because we don't have Cerebro or Mystique in hand, so it's not really worth it. And now it costs 2. Alright, well, maybe Juggernaut something in the Fisk Tower, that'd be nice. Let's drop Sentinel, and then next turn maybe drop a Sentinel and a Hawkeye. Oh god, okay, so the locations have been quite nice to me this time, so that's alright. Yondu is useless, unless we just make them 3 power, but I don't know, we're getting to the point now where Bast's going to be unusable. So let's go with Hawkeye and Sentinel. So kind of focus on these 2 left lanes for now. We can expect sort of a Dracula on turn 4, I would guess, from their side. This might be a good one to try and punch in the middle with Juggernaut, because we know Dracula's just going to feed off that mega buffed. Oh. Haven't really had any shining examples of how this deck's going to work yet. We could play Bast and hit the Cerebro, but I'm happy to wait a couple of turns, see if we can hit Mystique as well, because it's an extra 7 points at the end of the game, so it's kind of worth the risk, I think. Let's go Colossus and Necrotia, because can't have his power reduced, so a good place for him to sit. But Cosmo. Would be nice to Cosmo in that middle area. But maybe we should Scarlet Witch that side first. We can't play Clintar because we don't want our cards to get merged and have 1 powerful card. That would ruin the synergy. Necrotia will ruin the synergy, that's -2. And Nidavellir, I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced, would also ruin the synergy because it's +5. So it's like, which one of these is going to hurt us the most? And there's no good answer because they are all terrible. We can use Clintar after turn 4. Let's go with this for now. Yeah, so we're going to reduce those back down. Give me something good. Lumira's fine. If we drew Mystique now, that'd be perfect. Thank you very much. Now we know on turn 4 things are getting merged, so that ain't great. We'll drop Minklin down. We'll get the on reveal, and that's the only bit that really matters. And then we'll drop. God, excuse me. We'll drop Cerebro over there. And yes, I did just miss my own Cerebro with Bast. Let's blame it on the fact that I was choking at the time and couldn't focus properly. That's a good reason. It would be lovely to have a Valkyrie to hit that left side. We don't have a Valkyrie, so instead let's Mystique. It's dangerous to put them both in one lane, but this doesn't look like it's got an Enchantress sitting amongst it. And let's give away a Viper, which I don't like doing. Sorry, give away a Symbiote. I don't like doing it, but meh. So that side's looking good anyway. Basically everything we drop now is a 7, so it's decent. Let's just drop some cards on that left side. Okay, so the Cosmos not going to hit anything good. Cerebro's fine. Ah, Enchantress. Should have seen it coming. But weirdly, we're still going to win. Are we? Oh, are we? Are we? Yeah, we are. No, we're not. I thought we had that anyway there. And that is why you would never consciously play Mystique and Cerebro in the same lane. If I'd separated them like I should have, would have been fine. I don't know why I did that. That was so, like, that is basic, do not do this, and that's exactly what I did. So it is what it is. Yeah, let's start with a 0. Risks are being taken. Yeah, perfect. I'm 0 the Viper. Calculated, right? Oh no. Don't like them. Alright, let's Oh no, I want to keep this side for Cerebro and Mystique. Have we learned a lesson? Possibly not. Let's Juggernaut some maybe. Yeah, Juggernaut's the 3 cost play, so let's just do it. Let's use Domino. It was never part of the plan, but let's use Domino. Domino's a good card to put in this deck, actually, so you're guaranteed something on turn 2. That's not bad. Alright, so they're playing Destroy, I guess. They're reducing the cost of something there. Should we assume they've got Death in hand? Seems like a reasonable assumption, I think. Alright, so we're going to have to play some cards that we maybe don't want to play here. Let's drop these. Okay. Snap away, young snapper. Let's hit our Mystique and Cerebro. This could all go wrong if I change this into like a monster world or whatever it's called. What's it called? The thing that produces the monster. That's fine actually. That's not bad. But for them to snap, we've got to assume something big's coming. or the classic. Oh gosh, because of Lumira my Bast didn't reveal, so I've lost these 3 powers, but that's okay, right? So let's go with this, because I would double up in there, but that snap worried me a little bit. Got me thinking maybe there's an Enchantress in there, but I think realistically it's just going to be like, did they skip turn 5? So we're probably going to get like a Death and a She-Hulk perhaps, which I think we can probably live with. Right, so I would have got away with doubling up on power there, but I think that's going to be enough. Yeah, there's the Death and She-Hulk and Hawkeye and Wicked. Yeah, so that's alright.
Victory.
4 in hand. It's pretty standard, so nothing weird going on there. And there's no point Dark Dimensioning in. It's a pretty good one to have. We can pop a Mystique and Cerebro in there maybe, and we can Bast straight away because we've got those cards in hand. So that's pretty nice. And then I guess what you want to do ideally is hit that lane with the Valkyrie just to bring your Bast up to 3 power as well. And that would be the turn 5. Depends if it's worth it. You can kind of wait and see what they've got in their end first. So let's we're in a good position really. See, we could drop the Daredevil on the left, sorry, Daredevil in the middle, and really hope to pull the Valkyrie. But there wouldn't be much point of that because the Valkyrie's turn 5, so it's like we're peaking on turn 5, but we already know what we want to do. So let's not do that. Let's Viper the right. And then turn 4 we can Scarlet Witch is going to be a risk. Unless we zero the Scarlet Witch perhaps. Let's do that. Let's zero the Scarlet Witch on the right. So this Cerebro Mystique is going to be pretty big. Would have been nice to play them this turn. Play one on this turn. No, there's not much else going on. But with Cosmo, I feel like this is going to be something which reveals, because that's generally why people use Dark Dimension, right? To go sort of, I want this to reveal at the end, and surprise, power. So let's Cosmo that. And hope that we reveal first on that side. And then we can spread our Mystique and Cerebro across these 2 lanes. I'm probably going to get Professor X'd in the middle. But, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully we can still win the other 2. Devil Dino in the middle. It's kind of unexpected. Alright, what was this again? Cosmo and Colossus. So we've got like possibly 14 there, 21 here. So we should probably just forget the middle. Let's assume they're going to drop Taskmaster to copy that 16. That will be an obvious choice. So can we beat 16 in this? 17, 19, 20. Can we beat 20? Yes, we can with the Cerebro. And can we? We don't know what this is. Can we beat it? Possibly. Let's go Mystique and hope we can. Watch rooms. Okay, yeah. So they messed up. Would they have won anyway if they had a 14 plus the 2 in the middle? Yes, they would. Yeah, they messed up because the last card that revealed was Watcher, so Mystique has tried to copy the ability of Watcher because that was technically the last card played. Because they put Mystique in the Dark Dimension, so it's revealed that, then that. Which weirdly is exactly what I did, now that I've said it. I've played Cosmo Colossus, then tried to copy the ability of Colossus. When really I should have copied the Cerebro, blah 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 blah. Alright, well that's how this deck should work, and how to misplay and still win in some occasions. Anyway, if you like this video, subscribe because we're doing more of them and you might like more of them, so it's worth a risk, right? Yeah, thanks for watching and see you again.